In the world of celebrity power and controversy, few names stand out like Kanye West. A musical genius, a fashion mogul, a provocateur. But what happens when the spotlight shifts from him to his enigmatic housewife, Bianca Censori? For the first time ever, she's ready to tell her side of the story. She's stepping into the public eye to reveal secrets that could change everything. The world is already buzzing about Kanye's influence on major brands and culture, but what if we told you his reach extends all the way to America's biggest sporting event, the Super Bowl? In a groundbreaking interview, Bianca opens up about how Kanye's brand strategy has been subtly reshaping the competition itself. Is this just another marketing ploy, or is something much more profound at play? Hold your breath as Bianca uncovers a new layer of the West family's influence, one that might just shock you. Get ready, because this is about to get real. In the serene yet luxurious penthouse overlooking downtown Los Angeles, Bianca Censori, Kanye West's wife, is seated comfortably, poised and serene as ever. The cameras roll, and the talk show host, known for their biting commentary and aggressive line of questioning, settles in for what promises to be a groundbreaking interview. Interviewer, with a hint of mischief in their voice: Bianca, thank you for sitting down with us. People are eager to understand you, and of course, Kanye. The public knows him for his music, fashion, and bold statements, but you've kept a much quieter profile. That said, Kanye's brand is now a household name, and not just in entertainment. Your husband's influence has crossed over into some unexpected places like the Super Bowl. What's your take on that? Bianca, smiling gently, her eyes focused. Kanye doesn't just want to create something that's big, he wants to shape culture. He's always been forward-thinking, and when it comes to his brand, he doesn't just want to sell a product. He wants to redefine what a brand can do. The Super Bowl, as a cultural and commercial event, seemed like the perfect stage to push those boundaries. She pauses, collecting her thoughts, but I don't think most people realize how far his influence has really gone. It's not just the ads that are different now. Kanye's involvement in brand placement and the timing of those campaigns changes how the whole event feels, even on the field. The interviewer raises an eyebrow, intrigued by the suggestion that a sporting event could be affected by commercial forces at such a deep level. Interviewer, so you're saying that Kanye's brand deals have actually started influencing the competition itself? That sounds a little far-fetched. Bianca, calm, unwavering. It's not far-fetched, it's real. The Super Bowl has become more than just a football game. It's a cultural event, and brands are the ones driving that. Kanye's work with major companies, think of his collaborations with Adidas or Balenciaga, has set a new precedent for how brands interact with major events. The companies sponsoring the Super Bowl, or even athletes themselves, are now more aligned with their corporate partners than ever before. You see this in the commercials, but it's also about who gets to perform, which teams are the most heavily sponsored, and what products are being promoted in the spaces where the game is played. She gestures toward the camera. Interviewer, looking more surprised: are you telling me that Kanye's business dealings have reshaped the halftime show itself? We're talking about the most watched television segment in the world. That's a huge statement. Pauses, but can the Super Bowl really be influenced by brands on that level? Bianca, nodding, oh, absolutely. It might not be overt, but think about it. The halftime show is no longer just about the music or the performance. It's about the brands behind it. Who's endorsing the artist? Who's funding the production? The idea isn't just to sell a product, it's to create a moment that resonates with millions. And when you have that kind of influence, it touches everything from the choice of performers to the advertising during the game to the way athletes engage with brands. She leans in, almost as if confiding a secret. Even the athletes themselves feel the pressure to align with the right brands in order to stay relevant and marketable. Interviewer, leans in, a little skeptical. So you're suggesting that the athletes themselves are being subtly pushed by brands to play into this system? That it's no longer just about sports? Bianca, nodding, exactly. There's a ripple effect. You see it when a player wears a specific pair of sneakers that are part of a major campaign, or when a team is sponsored by a tech company that also has a Super Bowl ad. The players are more than just athletes, they're walking endorsements, and they understand that their brand deals are directly tied to their performance on the field. But it goes even further. Think about how commercial deals now affect the schedule of the game, the presentation of the teams, even the broadcast itself. It's not just about the action anymore, it's about the narrative that unfolds around it. Kanye has always understood the power of narrative, and it's in the way he controls his own brand and the brands he collaborates with. The Super Bowl is just one example of that. The tension in the room grows as the interviewer realizes the gravity of what Bianca is saying. The implications of Kanye's influence stretch far beyond the confines of traditional entertainment or fashion. It touches the very essence of competition, performance, and how society consumes media. Interviewer, pausing to absorb this is a big revelation. You've spoken about Kanye's brand influencing the Super Bowl in ways we never considered. But what about the people watching? How do you think Kanye's influence on this spectacle changes the way the average viewer experiences the event? Bianca, smiling softly, the audience isn't just watching a game, they're participating in a much larger spectacle, one that combines entertainment, competition, and consumerism in ways that were never imagined before. The Super Bowl isn't just an athletic event, it's a shared experience where brands and viewers connect on a deeper level. When you have a figure like Kanye, who understands the cultural relevance of the Super Bowl and brands' roles within it, you're going to see a shift. The viewers aren't just cheering for their team, they're part of a larger, more immersive narrative. And in a way, they're complicit in the commercial machine that makes the Super Bowl what it is today. Pauses thoughtfully, but I think that's exactly what Kanye has always wanted, to make people think beyond just the game. To think about how everything is connected. Interviewer, pausing, considering, I can't deny you've given us a lot to think about. So, where do you see this all going? If Kanye's brand continues to infiltrate these major events, what's next? Bianca, calmly, it's not about what's next, it's about what's already happening. We've already seen how the Super Bowl and other major events have become platforms for something larger. But Kanye's work is just one piece of the puzzle. As brands continue to wield more power in our lives, we'll see even more crossover between culture, business, and sports. The question is whether we, as a society, are ready for it. As the interview progresses, the tension in the room becomes palpable. The questions are getting sharper, and Bianca Censori's calm demeanor contrasts sharply with the weight of the revelations she's unveiling. The conversation has taken a deeper, more personal turn, and now it's time for the final test, an impossible question designed to challenge her composure. Interviewer, leaning in, their voice dropping, full of intrigue, you've spoken about Kanye's influence on the Super Bowl, the athletes, and the brands. But here's the question. How do you, as his wife, balance the power and pressure that comes with being a part of such a massive, global machine? You're no longer just Kanye's partner, you're a public figure in your own right. Do you ever feel the weight of that? The question hangs in the air, an uncomfortable silence following. Bianca takes a long breath, her expression steady but thoughtful. Bianca, speaking slowly, with purpose, it's not easy, no. But then again, nothing in Kanye's world ever is. There's a constant push and pull between maintaining privacy and navigating a world that's obsessed with transparency. The weight isn't just in being Kanye's wife, it's in understanding the larger vision he's trying to create. We're not just talking about fame or fortune here. We're talking about reshaping culture, influencing the way people think, act, and consume. Sometimes, yes, it feels heavy. But at the end of the day, I believe in what he's doing. I believe in the power of what his brand represents. She pauses, it's bigger than us, bigger than our family, bigger than the Super Bowl. Interviewer, clearly taken aback by her candidness, leaning back in their chair. So, you're saying that the pressure of being at the center of this cultural storm doesn't overwhelm you? That you can separate your personal life from the machine that Kanye's building? Bianca, a slight smile, a trace of defiance in her voice. It's not about separating the two. It's about understanding that they are one and the same. Our personal lives, our choices, our values, they are all part of this larger narrative. The pressure comes from knowing that this isn't just about us anymore. But I don't shy away from it. If anything, I embrace it. Because, in the end, what we're doing is meaningful. It's disruptive. It's changing the game. The finality in her tone is undeniable. There's no question in her mind she's not just part of the machine, she's the machine. The room feels charged with an unspoken understanding, as if Bianca has not only answered the interviewer's question, but also revealed something even deeper, that she, like Kanye, is playing a far longer game than most realize. And in that moment, she has cemented her place, not just as Kanye's wife, but as an architect of their shared legacy. As the cameras begin to fade, the interviewer is left speechless, the weight of her words lingering long after the interview has concluded. As the interview draws to a close, the studio lights flicker slightly, casting a soft glow over Bianca Censori, who sits quietly, her composure unwavering. The interview, filled with deep revelations and thought-provoking insights, has left an indelible mark not only on the interviewer, but on the audience as well. The quiet hum of the cameras rolling is the only sound that fills the room as they prepare to wrap up. Interviewer, their voice soft, almost reverent. Bianca, you've given us an entirely new perspective. It's not just about the power of Kanye's brand or the Super Bowl. It's about something larger, a vision for the future, the way we view culture, and our roles within it. But before we finish, I need to ask, what's next for you and Kanye? Where do you see all of this heading? Bianca, looking directly into the camera, her voice calm but powerful. What's next? Well, that's the question, isn't it? Because it's not about looking ahead and waiting for something to happen. It's about taking action every single day. It's about being intentional with the way we live, the way we create, and the way we shape the world around us. Kanye and I are part of a bigger conversation, one that's about empowerment, change, and disruption. We don't just want to be a part of the culture, we want to build it, and we want to invite others to do the same. She pauses, her eyes steady, her words gaining strength. Bianca, with a soft, yet resolute tone, each of us has the power to change the narrative, to redefine what success looks like, to challenge the status quo. We don't have to wait for permission. We don't have to wait for others to lead us. It starts with what we choose to believe and how we choose to act. You have the power to create the future you want to see. That's what Kanye and I are doing, and it's what I encourage everyone to do. Don't just watch the world unfold. Be a part of it. Make a difference. You have the ability to create something meaningful, something disruptive, something that leaves a legacy. The camera zooms in slightly, capturing the intensity in her eyes, the undeniable truth of her message. Bianca, smiling gently, almost as if to offer comfort. This isn't just about us or our brand. It's about all of us, working together to reshape how we see the world and how we see ourselves. It's about taking action and being bold. You don't have to wait for the world to give you a seat at the table. Build your own table. That's where the real change happens. The interviewer nods, a quiet admiration in their gaze. Bianca's words hang in the air like a mantra, simple yet profound. They are not just a call to action, they are a reminder that the power to create change lies within each of us. As the cameras power down and the lights dim, the energy in the room feels different, as if the world outside has shifted ever so slightly. And just like that, the interview is over. But Bianca's words will linger, reverberating in the minds of those who've heard them, challenging them to step up, take action, and be the architects of their own future. It's a message of hope, of empowerment, of creating something larger than yourself. In the end, it's a message that transcends brands, fame, and culture because it speaks to the core of what it means to be human, to shape the world around you, and leave a legacy that lasts.